Hello friends, welcome back to our help videos. In this video, we will see what advanced consent mode is and how to set it up using the Simprosys Product Feed for WooCommerce plugin. Advanced consent mode is an updated feature designed to better align with recent privacy laws. This ensures compliance with data protection regulations like GDPR by respecting user preferences regarding data collection. It helps to measure conversions and visitor behavior while respecting user privacy and complying with data protection regulations. Why and where is advanced consent mode needed? The advanced consent mode is needed for merchants that operate in regions where data protection laws require user consent for data collection and processing, such as the European Economic Area, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom. We have two options to set up the consent mode: basic and advanced. Let's understand the difference between basic and advanced consent mode. Advanced consent mode. When implementing advanced consent mode, tags load as soon as a user visits your website. These tags initialize the consent mode API and perform the following actions. Set default consent states. By default, consent remains denied. While consent is denied, tags will still trigger, but data will be reported using cookieless pings. Wait for the user to interact with the consent banner and consent status updates accordingly. The tags will transmit the full measurement only when the user grants consent to data collection. Basic consent mode. When you implement consent mode in its basic version, you prevent the tags from loading until a user interacts with a consent banner. This setup transmits no data to Google or Microsoft advertising before user interaction with the consent banner. When the user grants consent, the tags load and execute the consent mode APIs. So, how does advanced consent mode work? Advanced consent mode v2 works by setting 4 new parameters: add storage, analytics storage, add user data, and add personalization. These parameters indicate the user's consent status for sending user data and personalized advertising to Google and Microsoft advertising. Based on these parameters, the tags will operate in one of the following modes. Full mode. If the user grants consent for all parameters, the tags will operate normally and collect and process user data and personalized advertising as usual. Partial acceptance mode. If the user denies consent for any parameter, the tags will operate in a restricted mode and limit the data collection and processing to protect user privacy. The tags will use random, ephemeral identifiers instead of cookies and will not access any browser storage. The restricted data will not surface in the reports directly, but will be used by Google and Microsoft advertising to model conversions and visitor behavior. Denied mode. If the user denies consent for all parameters, the tags will still trigger, but only cookieless pings will be sent. Before we proceed with implementing the consent mode, ensure that your online store complies with the data protection regulations like GDPR, applicable in your region, for tracking your customers' details. Important note. It is important to note that our plugin does not provide the feature to implement the cookie banner on your online store. You can use the compliance or cookie yes for the cookie banner, which are currently compatible with our plugin. Links to these plugins have been added in the description. So, let's dive into the process of implementing the advanced consent mode from our plugin. Navigate to the tracking tags section and click on consent mode. Enable the consent mode. After enabling it, you will see a detailed view displaying additional information about the consent mode setup. Select the implementation type for consent mode as per your requirements. Here, we are selecting the advanced consent mode option, which is the recommended option. Next, select the regions where you want to display the cookie banner on your store. Ensure that you are selecting the same regions as your WooCommerce store. After that, you will see the option for URL pass-through. When a user lands on your website after clicking an ad, information about the ad may be appended to your landing page URL as a query parameter. To keep tracking working, these details are added directly to the URLs as users move through your site. If analytics storage is denied, the URL pass-through would help to transmit analytics data, including conversions, without relying on cookies. Lastly, you will see the fully redact ads data option. When a user initially agrees to data storage for advertising purposes but later withdraws consent, enabling the Redact Ads Data option ensures that any previously stored advertising-related data associated with that user is deleted. This ensures compliance with data protection regulations by aligning data handling with the user's updated preferences. Now, if you are submitting the feed for additional countries that fall under the region where data protection laws are required, please ensure that those regions are enabled within our plugin. Here, we are submitting Brazil, France, Switzerland as additional countries, so we will enable these regions to collect the user consent accordingly and save the settings. You can check the consent status using the Google Tag Assistant. Let's see how the consent status will appear when checked with the Google Tag Assistant. If a user lands on the website and does not interact with the cookie consent banner or denies consent, then no hits will be sent for events. In cases where full consent is granted, all event hits will be sent. However, if the user provides partial consent, only the events allowed under the selected parameters will be sent. That's all about enabling the advanced consent mode from our plugin. Hope this helps. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you never miss out on the latest updates. Got more questions? Drop them in the comments below or send an email to support@simprosys.com. Thank you for watching.